I'm sitting here in the dark trying to get through the darn Murdaugh trial. My God, I'm so tired. Are you wondering why I'm in the dark? Well, I have the door open outside. It is perfectly lovely in North Carolina. I walked around all day with my shirt on inside out. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just not even going to put it right side, whatever it's called. And then my daughter was like, no, Mom, you cannot wear your shirt inside out to church. So for her, I changed it. Look at these pictures of my children for their passports. Look. Don't they look like convicts? Speaking of convicts, today was day one of the Murdaugh trial. Let me tell you something. It was a big, big, big day. You're mentally exhausted. I'm so tired too. I'm so glad to hear you say that. I'm exhausted. Well, I also, though, I went to the auction at church, the Shrove. So every Shrove Tuesday, we have pancake dinner at church, which is really fun. But nothing like having 3 Almanzo, Ma Ingalls type pancakes. Okay. With 2 pieces of sausage and spending, $150 at the auction. But look what I did get. Well, they gave me these blueberries. They must look like I won this cake. Dun, dun, dun. Josh Harville. $40 I paid for that cake because someone I live with just had to have it. What a day. I know. We're going to get to it. Let me get stuff settled. Amos gave me this necklace. Well, look at there. You look teepy. Are you sleepy?
Yes.
Yeah, you ready for night-night?
No.
Okay, we'll go to bed at 8 o'clock.
And we have no school.
You are fashion forward. I'm a lot of things. I'm not fashion forward. Almanzo. I mean, I am. It's like Almanzo Wilder in here. Okay, now, let's get down to business. Giving people time to... This is probably a horrible time to do a video. I told my subscribers 7:45. And then I was like, I'm going to do a big video first. You did the heart survey. Yay, Robin. I offered subscribers a $500 gift card today to take a heart survey. I hooked you on the trial. Well, I have a few people that are like, I did not sign up to talk to you about the trial. It's annoying. It's like, I know it's annoying, but it's going to be going on for like another 2 weeks. So you're just going to have to simmer down, Tootsie Pop. Simmer down. Okay. Today. Look who took notes. Today. The defense for the Murdaugh trial started up. If you're not familiar with the Murdaugh trial, this is probably not the right video for you. This is for advanced beginners. The last guy today had an attitude. I know, right? It annoyed me. So, hold on. I don't like how you chew candy. I tell you what, if you eat a bunch of sausage for dinner, you'll drink water. You're going to quit smoking. Good for you. It's almost been a year since I quit smoking. Oh, and I love to smoke. Okay, now, today the defense started off. Buster Murdaugh was first on the stand. This was big, big. Now, I took a lot of notes, but we're going to first start with some things that he said on the stand, and I'm not criticizing him. I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking in my normal talky way. One, so he was just telling about his life. These are things that stuck out to me as a mother and a child. Aretha, you're real bossy. He said he talks to both his parents, or he did, twice a day. what is this thing called teenagers talking to their parents twice a day? What? Is that even true? Like, could that be true? I have 3 teenagers, and 2 of them are already off at school. Twice a day? What? I mean, I'm having a hard time getting past that. Okay, but carry on. But then he says, oh, I don't know what day my dad's birthday was. You talk to somebody twice a day and you don't know their birthday? So you know what I did? I called my sons and I said, when is Daddy's birthday? And they said August 13th. See? And they talk like once every 2 weeks. Those 2 things do not go together. They don't. They offered a reward. Now, we already knew this. And it expired. In my life, I have never heard, he's 26, not a teenager. Well, exactly, Shirley. 26-year-olds, I would assume, would talk less than teenagers to their parents. I mean, this goes on and on. 26? Twice a day to your parents? Oh my God, the dog. The reward expires. Who has ever offered a reward and had it expire? So I looked around. Are you done? It's Bubba's friend, Honor. Just like Katie Couric over here, Barbara Walters ain't got nothing on me. I got thirsty service dogs in the back. That's why I make the big bucks. $5 a month. Get all you want. Now, I have friends who talk to their kids several times a day. Well, that is a whole nother conversation, and perhaps it's not for today, but I find that cuckoo. But anyway, yeah, now I'm going to get these messages. I don't like how you said my daughter shouldn't talk to me twice a day. I talk to her every day before hand and foot and after canasta. And I love her and I help her and we must talk all the time. Now, the dog, Bubba, who does know who did the shooting, now lives with the housekeeper. If your mom died and then your dad is in jail and they have a dog, do you give it to the housekeeper? What did Buster do for a living? Not much. I thought that was like, you think you would be like, my special dog. I love the Honor! Quiet. Quiet. It's like being in hell. It's quiet. And this is the same housekeeper. Hey, Natalie, happy birthday. This is the same housekeeper who, when they put Buster on the stand, they said, does your dad wear Vinnie Vine? Because the housekeeper said that Alex said to her, just say I had on my Vinnie Vine shirt. So they're calling this person a liar on the stand, yet they've given her the dog. Now, if you thought somebody was lying about your dad, would you let her have your dog? I like my dogs. Well, I only have one dog. Is anybody able to make that connection with me? I need you to. Now, one thing Buster said that really threw me for a loop was, thank you, Joanna. None of us thought Paul was driving the boat. And that is a quote. None of us thought Paul was driving the boat. This took me on a deep, 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 dark dark rabbit hole because I was like, what you talking about, Willis? What do you mean nobody thought Paul was driving the boat? Is that even up for debate? Like, where has he been? Nobody thought Paul was driving the boat. Everybody knows Paul is driving the boat. I couldn't get back to that. I could not get back. So then I find all this like crazy data. Well, data is a loose term, but I find all this information about who was driving the boat. Now listen, on February 23rd, 2019, Mallory Beach is in a boat accident on Paul Murdaugh's boat that Paul Murdaugh's parents own. Now around here, where we live in North Carolina, if your child takes out the boat, the idea is that the child would drive the boat that belongs to your family. They don't take the boat out and then have friends drive it. But that's just me. Carry on. Paul was charged 2 months later after the boat accident with 3 felony counts of boating under the influence. Now, this is really good. This is good. During a deposition, we hear Alex told Connor he, quote, didn't need to tell anyone he was driving. That was a quote. Connor Cook, whose brother was Anthony Cook, who was dating Mallory Beach. So they're cousins on the boat. Connor is stopped in the hall of the hospital, Beaufort Memorial Hospital. And Alex says to him, and it's again another quote, everything will be all right. And Connor said, I just needed to keep my mouth shut and tell them I didn't know who was driving. And Alex said, I gotcha. Not only did he say, I gotcha, he said, I've got a lawyer for you. I got a lawyer for you. Well, and he had broken his jaw in the boat accident. So Connor heard Paul call his grandfather from the accident scene and told him that Connor was driving. Now, what is super interesting, there's an affidavit from a nurse where Alec is telling Connor you just need to not talk and you need to be quiet and it's all right. I'm going to take care of you. I've got this guy, Corey Fleming, and now he's been disbarred, but he is the best attorney. He is going to be great. He is great. And then they hear Alec on the telephone at the hospital, and the security guard hears this. She's gone. Don't worry about her. Talking about Mallory Beach. So Paul Murdaugh gets to the hospital. He's on a stretcher thing with wheels. Alec Murdaugh and his dad Randolph get there 10 minutes later. Now, at the accident scene, did they do a field sobriety test on Paul Murdaugh? No, sirree, Bobby, they did not. Officer Austin Pritchard wrote in his report that he was instructed to give 1 field sobriety test. And you know who it was to? Connor Cook. Hey, Sheila, drunk as Cooter Brown. Yes, he was. Connor Cook. Connor Cook didn't take the field sobriety test. Paul Murdaugh didn't get a field sobriety test. But at 4 a.m., nearly 2 hours after the accident, he tested 3.5 times the legal limit. And on record that night, Anthony said to the officer, Paul was driving. It's recorded, but it's not written in the report. And so what we find out from then is that attorneys from the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, along with Beaufort County Sheriff's Department, or Beaufort County Sheriff's Department, I don't know what the devil it's called, they get in trouble because there's this whole thought that they are working together and conspiring to pin this drunk boating on Connor Cook. was mind-blowing. I had no idea that this was all going on. No idea. Did y'all know this? I didn't know this. I did not know this. Connor Kirk was told by 2 adults, keep your mouth shut. I'm going to help you. And he listened. And he listened. I mean, 2 adults. I use the word adult fairly loosely. Okay. The other thing we heard from Buster this morning is that the back of the grandparents' house, that everybody parks at the back of the house. The back of the house is like thick green crabgrass. And they say, well, we just pull the car up to the sidewalk. Now there's a driveway. I am sorry, but that is like pure tea redneck with people with like dirt yards. Like this, the boating accident, it was February 23rd, 2019. This grass was pristine. I mean, it looked good. Now, if you went out my yard, you'd be like, this place looks like you know what. So anyway, he said, oh, we always parked back there. And that was to try to explain away why Alec had parked back there the night of the murders. Now, on cross-examination, why did you turn your shirt right side out? Oh my God, people are going crazy over the shirt. Because my daughter was embarrassed for me to go to church with it on. Okay, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it right back on the way it was all day. And that's going to make you people happy. There. There. Now it's inside out. I can be happy. Cross-examination. I thought this was really good. The prosecution said, when is the first time you mentioned that your family parked out back? When is the first time you mentioned that to somebody? Do you know what he said? A few days ago. Ding, 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 ding. A few days ago. So he didn't tell anybody that early on. He said, did you bring it to someone's attention or did someone ask you? Someone asked him. Someone asked him. We always called when we went. Did you always call? Most of the time we called. And then they said to Buster, whose voice is this? Do you hear this voice? Whose voice is this? And he said, that is my dad's voice. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on television. Why the lawyer on cross-examination did not ask him whose voice it was on the kennels, I will never know, because that was a real missed opportunity. It's all old news. I kiss my, you know what? This is not old news. Some of us don't have memories like steel traps. We're just talking about it. So why didn't they say, whose voice is this at the kennel? What did you and your mom talk about? What did y'all talk about? He didn't remember. So the last time you've talked to your mother, you don't remember what you talked about? I'm sorry, but that is not true. That is not true. No. It's not true. You don't lose your mom and forget what you talked about. The next part of the trial went into accident reconstruction. The shooter had to be a midget because of the trajectory of the bullets. I think that part was like, wah, 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 wah. No one was listening to anything about that. All they did was turn around on cross-examination and say, how much do you make? You get paid $350 an hour. How many hours did you work? 40 to 50 hours. Well, what I wanted them to say was, how much does Harpootlian make? I mean, that's the one to know how much they made, right? Shoo-wee, Moses. They talked about, could you hear a gunshot? And it was 1,142 feet away, and they talked about decibels, and then they get in the house, and he plays this gunshot, and ain't nobody can see it. But I don't like Carpoot Land, so I think he lies. I also think this whole Alec didn't hear the gunshot at the house. Well, I don't think he heard it at the house either. I think he was right there and heard it. Does anybody think Alec was in the house asleep? Midget is an appropriate name. I know. I don't like the word midget, but that's what the defense was implying. It's very offensive, isn't it? Offensive. I don't know about any gunshot, but I will tell you, where I live more than 1,142 feet away, probably like 8 or 9 blocks. And if there are gunshots fired, you basically want to get down on the floor. And my house is well built. I have double pane windows. I have trees. I have bricks. I have wood. I mean, it's like the three pigs dream over here. You can hear a gunshot. I just don't believe that. I full on don't believe it. I don't believe it. I want you to go back on a couple things. Let's look at Alec's behavior. There's a boat crash February 23rd, 2019. On June 7th, 2021, the day that Maggie and Paul were murdered, Alec was asked by a colleague at work for a, quote, explanation no later than that day as to where hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees owed to the firm but stolen by Murdaugh had gone. He was given an ultimatum the very day they were murdered and said, you've taken hundreds of thousands of dollars. Where are they? You have until the end of the day to tell us. Well, you know what happened? Two things happened. One, he got a call that his dad was in the hospital. So he had a reprieve. He got the devil out of there, right? And 3 hours later, his family is murdered. So his day of reckoning vanished. That's the prosecution said that. His day of reckoning vanished. He was about to go down and go down hard. Now he has a reprieve, right? So on September 2nd, a check, they found out at his firm that a check was made out to him instead of the firm. On September 3rd, he was asked to resign. And on September 4th, he was shot. Again, they rally around him, but this time they find out quicker that he's a liar. So what does Alec do? Here's a history. What does he do when he starts sinking? He starts grabbing and tries to save himself. And whatever he needs to do is what he does. And I think what he did. Right, Melissa? He didn't even go see his dad. Oh, I did, Sparky. Yeah. The defense team is staying at like some $20,000 a week place. Do you think it was Alec's girlfriend that did that? No, I do not. I do not. Alec was there at the kennels minutes before they were killed. I don't know if he shot both guns, but he was a part of it. He was a part of it. Oh gosh, I hope my husband's going to get my daughter a cotillion. She's going to be mad at him if he doesn't. Dad, you're supposed to pick her up at 8. And Parker. Why must I always be the parent? Did not know about the day he was confronted about embezzlement. I know. guess we did know, but I just was putting it, I don't know how many shots were fired. They got into more like fights this afternoon. And to me, it was super annoying. Like the trajectory of the bullet, I guess the reason behind that is, but I'm not smart enough to catch it. The reason behind that is they were trying to argue that it couldn't have been one person to shoot the gun. I think Buster was in on it. He wasn't there. I mean, we know he was gone. So I wouldn't go throwing him under the bus. Was Buster innocent in all this? I don't think the Murdaugh family, honestly, was innocent in much. Maybe they're not that different for most people. But Paul Murdaugh had his mother's credit card to buy beer. I'm sorry, but no. 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 No, 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 no. I'm not a real fan of serving underage children alcohol. That just feels like you're really going to a bad place. It's just me. He watched all the night police video. He was so fake. So one thing they asked Buster, they said, when did your dad tell you about your mother and brother? And he said, he called me that night. I don't remember what time it was. And I was like, why would he say I don't remember what time it was? Like nobody asked him what time it was. But hold on, I'm losing my signal. This is what happens in here. People eat up the internet. Let me change it. There. You have to, what was I saying now? I'm getting all mixed up. Oh, over the height, 6'3" or 6'4". I mean, that's about like some Johnny Cochran crap. 2 days after the murders, he was due in court. Where did the lost gun go? He said, but I don't know what time I talked to my dad. Well, I mean, I know that because he called him at 10:25. So are you going to honestly tell me that Buster hasn't read any of the reports of that night? Like, even if he didn't remember, he would know from reading about it. I mean, if there was a bunch of news about me, wouldn't you be reading about it? Too rehearsed. Yeah, that's what I think so too, Dawn. Felt very sketch. Very sketch. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Revenge for Mallory Beach. No, it's not revenge for Mallory Beach. Though Alex said that within 30 freaking seconds of the time that the police got there. Right, Sonia? Where do you watch the trial? Said Dorothy. You watch it on YouTube. I think it's like Law and Justice. I don't know. You just do Murdaugh trial live stream and it ping, pops up. Well, yeah, the defense attorney got a good smack this morning for retweeting something. But when you retweet something, it doesn't even necessarily appear like a retweet. It looks like you wrote it and it says like, South Carolina law enforcement does terrible job with collecting evidence. And it's under his name and the judge got him for it. No, there's been no evidence about Maggie in a divorce attorney. I think Alec Murdaugh, he just, my 13-year-old's calling me. Why do they call me? Why don't they call Daddy? Daddy, call Dad. Don't call me. Alec testifying Thursday. Well, that is not in stone, Angela. People think that, but we do not know that for sure. But you might as well just go ahead and say, Adrian, stay in your inside-out shirt and don't move. What was she yelling about? Well, Mary Allison, I agree with you. I think Alec saying, come, hurry, come quickly. They've been hurt. I have to get off the phone. I've got to call my family members. I have called 911 in a panic. My husband, Thomas, had like a emergency episode a couple years ago. I mean, it was bad. And he'd like throw up blood everywhere. I came in the shower. He was like unconscious. I mean, it was bad. I called 911 So, you know, people be like, well, you don't know what you would do until you're in that situation. Okay, well, let's pretend that we do. I was on 911. Did I say to 911, I have to go, I have to call some family members? No, I didn't, because you don't say things like that. He wanted all those. I need everybody, Randy, Rudolph, Munchkin, Buster, Bubba, Koopy, Compy, Monroe, Emmett, Robert E. Lee, come over here. Come in the house right now and help me mess up the scene. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. Are they officially dead? No, no. I don't trust him a bit. I don't. Okay. I'm going over to the subscriber page. I know you can complain about that once I'm gone. But we got some serious stuff to talk about. And tomorrow night is over on Kate Swinson's page. We're going to be talking a little bit about autism then. Yes, we are. I mean, I just cannot take that Rapulian. He's got those big old eyes, and he's so arrogant. People do not like arrogant. They hate it. It will make them hate him. And Southerners are bitter. I mean, they will flat hold a grudge for a long time. I mean, like a 5-year plan.